Hello, my lovely friends. Welcome to Daily Devotional for the 29th of January. It's Wednesday. I'm in a different location. I told you that this week was going to be all over the place, and it is. I am working from the Daily Devotional this week, and today has been kind of a rough day. I got started a little bit late. So, today's is: Holy grandparents of the universe, you have watched the world from its birth through many ages. I seek your silence, that I also may grow in wisdom. I celebrate the vision of your endearing life in me. Counselor of my soul, you quicken my soul's progress this winter day by the strength of your example. I look to your light to help me discover the track of this day's question, and that would be a solar question. And the solar question for today: what threshold of attainment, wrong one, that was yesterday. Which fear is keeping you in prison? Oh, that's a good one. Which fear is keeping you in prison? I celebrate the wild and untamed places of the planet, keeper of the wilderness. Keep yet the untrampled wildness of the world in which we live, and keep it in your own glory. So the solar question of the day is: what fear is keeping you in prison? We've talked about it before. There's two emotions. There's love and there's fear. And fear is a terribly powerful thing. It can trap you in patterns that perpetuate fear and keep you in a state of anxiety and resistance. I am not exempt from that. God, I'm terrified of a lot of things. I had somebody tell me a long time ago, they're like, you're so brave, you're so strong, you're such a strong woman. And I'm like, oh my God, if you knew the times that I'm balled up on the floor of my bathroom, crying my eyes out, or not wanting to crawl out of bed because I'm terrified of what's coming next, and how often that I have to literally visualize myself holding my bootstraps and girding my loins to move forward. Back when I first started daily devotionals, I was terrified to a couple of different things. A, put out an unedited video. This is raw footage, me talking, just working through something. 2, not only putting out raw video without it being edited on Facebook of all places, but on top of that, putting that on YouTube, which means it's forever out there for somebody to grab hold of. Those are terrifying things. I'm glad that I did, and it's no longer scary for me. Some people make positive comments, some people don't make any comments, and it's not like I've gone viral, so woohoo! But now it's no longer something to be afraid of. That fear no longer holds me back. I'm no longer imprisoned by that fear. And I had to work through it. And part of my working through it was making myself post every day. And what's really interesting, what helps me, is that I'm not talking to myself. I visualize a person that I'm talking to. It could be a friend of mine that I know that's struggling with something, or it could be, I used to teach classes in spiritualism and Wicca and grounding and centering and rituals and all these wonderful things I used to teach classes in. And I have a very good visualization ability, and I can visualize those classes to this day, and I can visualize the people in the classes, and I can talk to them when I am filming. I am talking to that group of people, and I will focus on that one person in the group and pass on whatever comes through. Because I found that years ago when I teach, I have an outline. It's not really scripted, it's really an outline, and then I allow that person's energy, or those people in the class, I allow their energy to show me what they need to hear to help them. So every class is different. Every class is unique. Every class is tailored to the people that are in the class. I have had friends of mine say, your things really help me. And I'm like, great. And so then I will use their energy to help me come up with what's next. Does that make any sense? It's like channeling without the person being right there with you. Daily devotionals were a terribly fearful, inspiring thing for me. I mean, it was just terrifying. So what things hold you, what fears hold you in prison? You have to look at those things and you have to figure out, how are you going to overcome, how are you going to break down those prison walls? How are you going to become free and be more of who you are? Conversely, part of overcoming that fear is also centering and finding that place of peace in your heart, so that when you are at peace and you have that resonance, that calmness, that centeredness, you can turn around and reflect that back out, and those prison walls do fall. So it's not just the action of doing something to overcome an obstacle, but it's also going within and finding that place of peace that then you can radiate out. I know I've talked about it in a lot of different ways throughout my daily devotions, but this really is something that is a fundamental tool to use when conquering fears. You go within rather than just attacking the fear. Negativity feeds negativity. So if you just keep throwing more negative at something, it grows into a big monster. If you throw a lot of love at something negative, it dissipates and disappears. So it's the same concept. Instead of just doing things and attacking the negative feeling or the anxiety or whatever it is that's holding you prisoner, you come within and find that place of peace, that centeredness, that love of self to reflect back out onto the world. And whatever it is that's creating the anxiety and the fear. So I hope that made sense. I'm in a new place this week. I have really struggled with my own anxiety this week. I'm struggling with some stuff and layers of things. And I'm doing a daily vlog while I'm here. I am working on video content for my Eagle and Rue page. I am taking a class. I'm very, very busy, and those busy things are helping me cope with the anxiety of being in a new place, being in a strange house, going to a strange place, driving on roads that, I am a very capable big city driver, but I don't like it. I'm good at it, but I don't like it. And on top of that, I'm driving at night when I'm already tired. And nighttime driving has always been something I don't enjoy. I am capable. I'm good at it. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you have to enjoy it. And that was a big lesson for me back in 1995. I was a very good actress. I went to an acting conservatory. I was very good at it. But just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you love doing it. So take that into consideration too when you are conquering something that scares you. I'm good at driving at night, but it still scares me. And I don't like it. So understand that there are complexities in each thing that triggers that anxiety, triggers that fear, that triggers these things. And know that you're not alone and that this is not something that's abnormal. A lot of people struggle with these things. You are not alone. And one of the other things that I wanted to go back to, daily devotions are something that I do because I have felt alone for a very long time in my journey. And we are all individually alone in our individual journey. Absolutely. But we need community. We need people that help us and support us and help us know that we are not alone, and that journey might be slightly different for each person, but we're not alone in the journey. Like, does that make sense? I feel like I've said that several times, and I don't know that it's clicked with anyone. I know it makes sense in my head, but I sometimes struggle with making sure that comes across clearly. Okay, I feel like I've rambled enough. This video is like 10 and a half minutes, and my daily devotions I like to have between 6 and 10, so we're going over today. I hope you have a beautiful day. Have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow in prayer. Blessed be.